Hey everybody, it is Walter McCormick. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. It is July 3rd today, and I only bring that up because tomorrow is America's birthday. So if you were wondering who you need to thank America. Happy birthday. All right, now that we got that out of the way, what I'm going to go over is 3 things that you should never do with your money. So before we get into that, I want to make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and we'll get started. Okay, so number 1, gambling. Now, I will also add this preface. If you have disposable income and you want to do one of these things, then, okay, fine. People who make thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars a year can afford to do some of these things if it fits within their parameters and they don't get it out of control, okay? But in general, gambling is a horrible return on investment, okay? So you've got your Powerball, and so we'll go into that more here in a second. Scratch-offs and casinos. Now, I personally have never been to a casino. I always wanted to go to see all the sparkling lights, and then I'd probably end up looking like this guy or Chevy Chase from the movie Vegas Vacation. But I refuse to go to casinos, by the way. But I have bought scratch-off tickets, and I've never bought a Powerball ticket because more than likely, if you play the Powerball, you know the odds, and so you are more likely to get struck by lightning, and I've never known anybody that got struck by lightning, so yeah, about that. I'd rather have a big negative to that, okay? All right, so number 2 is using credit cards incorrectly. Now, most people have a credit card. I have a few. I don't know how anybody can really get by without credit cards 100%. There are people that do it, but there are benefits that they're missing out on. Okay, so now one of the big things I want to put here is it says incorrectly. So this would include carrying a balance. Okay, if you have a credit card and you use it, you should want to plan to pay that off by the end of the month because that's where they get you. Number 2 would be getting in over your head. There's various strategies that I know of, like piggybacking or someone signing on you as an authorized user, that kind of a thing. There are instances where that kind of stuff is okay to use, but if you are going to get a credit card, the number 1 thing you must realize is you have to have 100% financial control. Otherwise, you're going to run the risk of getting in over your head and getting into a pretty crappy situation where you can't keep up with the payments. Okay, so one of the things I'll add as a bonus here, I'm going to just change that, is you want to look for rewards. Like for example, like a gas rewards card or air miles. Okay. So if you travel a lot and you have a business or something like that, and there's an expense that you know that you're going to spend, like if you know I'm going to spend $100 a week on gasoline because I drive everywhere, good. Get like a Shell card or something like that, charge it up, and then pay it off on a weekly basis. Charge it up, pay it off on a weekly basis. And that way you can take advantage of some of the benefits of like getting cash back or getting extra points off your gas or things of that nature. Or what you can also do is an interesting little system where, like, I'm an insurance agent, I drive a lot, so what you can do is you can actually take like $100, charge it on a card, and buy like a Shell gas gift card for yourself, and then you can use that, and then you pay the credit card off, and you get kind of both ends of the spectrum there. So, like I said, those are very limited in their application, but you don't want to end up like this guy and be holding your pockets inside out. Okay, so number 3, the third thing you should never do with your money is buying an expensive, parentheses, new car. So The reason for this is actually pretty simple to understand. Basically, if you purchase a new car, you are, as soon as you drive off that lot, you're going to be losing a crap load of value, and you're going to go basically upside down as soon as you drive off the lot. Okay, so cars do not depreciate in a favorable manner. Now, there are instances where getting a lease or something like that, if you have a business and you can write it off as a business expense, et cetera, depending on your tax structure, consult with an accountant, blah, blah, blah. Disclaimer, but if you are a general person, you should never buy a new, expensive, or luxury type of a vehicle. Now, obviously, like I said earlier with the Powerball example or with the gambling example, if you have a lot of discretionary income and you've taken into account all the other factors like your retirement, setting aside for education for your kids, family, blah, 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 blah. If it's in your budget and you're like, hey, I want a new car, I make $1 million a year, I don't have to worry about that, fine, this doesn't apply to you, go do whatever you want to go do, okay? But for the average person, you don't want to buy a brand new luxury car, okay? So they're in general a bad idea. Now, most vehicles, and I will add this as another caveat, things like a diesel pickup truck, they hold their value very well. So if it is 2019 right now, okay, and then let's say in 2023, that'll be about 4 years. Yeah, I bet you didn't notice I just wrote that with my right hand. I'm left-handed. But, oh, make sure you hit the like button. Okay, so after about 4 years, let's say a car has already, after about 4 years, a car started out here. So here's where it started, okay? And it has gone down in value, and then it will plateau at a certain point and maybe even come up a little bit. But otherwise, it'll just go down and it'll stay down, okay? So your luxury cars drop very quickly, okay? But if you buy your car here or here, you haven't lost that much money. You still have a fairly decent car. Maybe it has, 30, 40,000 miles on it. And otherwise, you don't have to worry too much about a lot of depreciation. So there are other things, obviously collector cars like that are very, very old. That's a whole different ball game. You probably shouldn't be buying one of those for like a daily driver. So just a heads up, cars are usually a bad investment. Don't buy them if you do not have the discretionary money to put into them. And be sure to stay tuned for more money tips and things that you should or should not do with your money. I'm Walter McCormick. Be sure to like and subscribe.